Hello, and welcome to Scary Stories. Today, we bring you a tale of horror and the unknown that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Our story begins with Jessica, a mother of two, who decides to take her children to visit her Uncle Ollie's farm in her hometown. Little did she know, her son Jake possessed a gift of clairvoyance, and what he saw on the farm would change their lives forever. As they explore the property, Jake's visions become stronger, revealing a dark and sinister presence lurking on the farm. The family is plagued with the feeling that something is not right, and they cannot ignore the growing sense of dread that is settling in. In this story, we follow Jessica and her children as they face their fears and confront the terrifying truth behind what is happening on Uncle Ollie's farm. Will they be able to overcome the evil that has taken hold of the property, or will they become its next victims? Get ready for a chilling tale of the unknown that will make you question what lurks in the darkness. Stay tuned for the terrifying conclusion, only on Scary Stories. As they arrive at Uncle Ollie's farm, Jessica couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The sky was dark and gloomy, and the air was heavy with the scent of something rotten. Her son, Jake, had been quiet ever since they arrived, his eyes darting around nervously. "Mom, we need to leave," Jake finally spoke up, his voice shaking with fear. "What's wrong, honey?" Jessica asked, trying to sound calm. Jake hesitated for a moment before speaking again. "There's something bad here. Something really bad happened." Jessica's heart skipped a beat as she heard those words. She had always known that there was something off about Uncle Ollie's farm, but she never imagined it could be this sinister. As they walked towards the farmhouse, they noticed that the fields were barren, with no signs of life. The trees were twisted and gnarled, their branches reaching out like twisted fingers. And then they saw it, a group of scarecrows, lined up in a row, their faces twisted into grotesque expressions. Jessica felt a shiver run down her spine as she saw the scarecrows. They looked like they had been placed there deliberately, almost as if they were meant to scare off anyone who came too close. And then she saw something else, a figure, lurking in the shadows. It was tall and thin, with long arms and legs. It was watching them, its eyes glinting in the darkness. Jessica knew that they needed to leave, and fast. She grabbed her children and started running towards the car, with the figure chasing after them. As they drove away from the farm, Jessica couldn't help but wonder what had happened there. And she knew one thing for sure, they were never going back to Uncle Ollie's farm again. When they finally arrived back at their home, Jessica and her children were shaken. They tried to forget about the farm, but the memories of what they had seen kept haunting them. Jake, in particular, was having a difficult time. His clairvoyant abilities had never been so strong before, and he couldn't shake the feeling that there was something he was missing. One night, as Jessica was tucking Jake into bed, he spoke up. "Mom, I think we need to go back to the farm. There's something I need to do." Jessica was hesitant, but she could see the determination in Jake's eyes. She knew that there was no stopping him. The next day, they set off towards the farm once again. This time, Jake seemed more confident, as if he knew what he was looking for. As they walked towards the farmhouse, he led them to a shed at the back of the property. "Mom, we need to go inside," Jake said, his voice barely above a whisper. Jessica was hesitant, but she knew that there was no stopping Jake. They opened the door to the shed, and the stench hit them immediately. It was the same rotten smell that they had noticed on their previous visit. As they entered the shed, they saw something that made their blood run cold. It was a pile of bones, human bones, stacked neatly in the corner. Jessica felt a scream building up in her throat, but she couldn't make a sound. Jake approached the bones, and his eyes started to glow. Suddenly, he was overcome with a vision. He saw a group of people, huddled together in fear, as something approached them. It was the same figure that had chased them on their previous visit to the farm. It had come to claim its next victim. Jake knew what he had to do. He closed his eyes and concentrated, and then he spoke a single word. "Leave." Suddenly, the figure disappeared, and the room was filled with a sense of calm. Jake knew that he had banished the spirit from the farm, and he felt a sense of relief wash over him. As they left the farm for the final time, Jessica and her children knew that they would never forget what had happened there. But they also knew that they had faced their fears, and come out the other side. Jessica and her children never spoke of their experience at Uncle Ollie's farm again, but they couldn't shake the feeling that they had been a part of something truly terrifying. One day, as they were browsing through the internet, they came across a YouTube channel called Scary Stories. They started watching the videos, and were immediately hooked. As they listened to the different tales of horror and terror, they realized that they had their own story to share. They knew that their experience at Uncle Ollie's farm was something that needed to be told. With some hesitation, they contacted the creator of the channel and shared their story. To their surprise, the video was an instant hit. People from all over the world were captivated by their tale of terror. As they read the comments and messages from viewers, they realized that their story had touched something deep inside people. It had resonated with those who had their own experiences with the unknown and unexplained. Jessica and her children realized that sharing their story had been cathartic. It had allowed them to confront their fears and to connect with others who had been through similar experiences. From that day on, they became avid followers of the Scary Stories channel, always eager to hear the latest tales of horror and the unknown. And they knew that they would never forget the terrifying experience that had led them to the channel in the first place.